Alright guys, so today we're going to cover Canopy Growth Corporation, which is a marijuana company from Canada. So let's start right over here with this long wick at the bottom of a green candle, which indicates a buy-in. If you're not familiar with candlestick charts, this will give you a little bit of an overview, but not the full details. I suggest that you get a little bit more familiar with them or subscribe to my channel. That way you can keep up with these videos where I go over a lot of these charts and patterns. So first I want to point out this volume at the bottom, as well as this long wick at the bottom of a green candle, as well as these moving averages crossing over. So all three things indicate that there's going to be a bullish uptrend to the stock. That means the stock will rise. So yes, we get confirmation right over here that the stock broke over this resistance line that it's been trying to break over. It gets the volume and it breaks right over it. However, the stock struggles right here at the top. And I want to explain these long red wicks at the top of these red candles. These represent a sell-off. So there was bulls taking their profits and selling off right over here. And this candlestick also had a small wick at the bottom, which also indicates that there's going to be a reversal. Now we have three things that point out that there's going to be a sell-off in the stock, or the stock is going to change direction. First, we have this resistance line that the stock struggled to go over. Next, we have these candles with the long wicks at the top indicating a sell-off. Next, we have this RSI, or the Relative Strength Index. If you're not familiar with it, I suggest you get familiar with it because this is one of the most commonly used tools in the stock market for indicating when the stock is overbought or oversold. So anything over 70 indicates an overbought stock. Anything under 30 is indicating an oversold stock. So yes, the stock was overbought at the top. So now we know that the stock will likely change direction. Yes, there's a reversal. The stock dips all the way right here. However, it meets this support line, which happens to be the last resistance line. So you want to remember that most of the time when a resistance line is broken, it automatically switches roles to being the support line. So now we have the stock not going under this. You could see a change of direction with this long wick at the top and a long wick at the bottom. The stock moves sideways for a few hours, and now we have a breakout. The crossover happens with these moving averages. Not a clear crossover, but we also have this volume to back it up. You can see a huge buy-in right over here. There's this candle right over here, which indicates that the stock is indecisive, and they decided that they want to take it up because the bulls took over. The stock again meets these long wicks at the top and the bottom, struggles to get over this resistance line and doesn't get over it. And so you can see the stock falls back down and breaks this last support line. Now this line becomes a resistance line. Then we have this nice W pattern that forms. You can see a huge buy-in right over here. The stock goes back up. It does not make it over this resistance line, but you can see that there was a change in direction again. Stock goes back down, meets the support line, bounces up, and now we know that once the stock breaks through this resistance line, then we have a breakout, but we need enough volume. The stock gets its volume, gets a crossover, and a breakout happens, but then again, it meets this resistance line, struggles to get over it, goes back down. A huge buy-in right over here. You can see it followed by volume. Goes back up, a crossover, stock remains between these two lines. Looks like there's not enough volume to do either direction. And then the stock meets this long wick at the bottom, long wick at the top, goes back down. Today the stock moved sideways. We're waiting for it to get enough volume to pick direction. The next move by the stock will likely go up from here. The crossover will happen. You'll see a huge buy-in. What we want to look for is if the stock breaks over this resistance line at the top. If it does, and you keep an eye on the volume and the RSI is not indicating an overbought stock, then you have a buy-in. You would want to enter the trade right here at the top and watch the volume, and then exit somewhere where the stock starts to form a little bit of a overbought stock. Keep an eye on RSI, keep an eye on the volume and the crossovers. I hope this was helpful. This is Q from Ianti Trading, reminding you to get stocked up on knowledge.